Welcome to Humming Punks with me, Ian Hurst.
And me, Jimmy Watkins.
Each week we're going to be reviewing a different album as selected by our guest with just 3 words. It's a bit of a challenge, it's going to be tough, it's going to be fun, it's going to be random, and there might be the odd swear word.
Yeah, so if there are any children listening, make sure they already know the swear words in advance.
Good advice. Take care, sit back, relax and enjoy. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello, real life person friend.
Real life person friend. We've met.
I know, we met and we hugged outside a little partisan bakery in London.
I know, it was beautiful. It was it was an absolutely amazing moment in time.
Yeah.
But before we carry on, welcome listeners.
Oh yeah,
Welcome
sorry.
the most important people here.
Yeah, we don't matter. We are just the medium. We're just the medium for the madness.
We're just the meat. We're just the meat. That's all we're seen as.
We are just meat with socks on.
Pieces of meat. Welcome, listeners. I hope you're all very well. I
Yeah.
hope it's been a couple of weeks since we've been here. We've
I don't even know.
No real reason. I guess we had a little break, but welcome. It's lovely to have you. I hope you're all living your wildest dreams.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jimmy, it was so lovely to embrace.
It was beautiful. Your armpits were warmer than I expected.
I know, and we must have looked like... I hope that when people were watching us embrace across King's Cross Station, that in their minds it was slow-mode. Because I think a slow-mo run of me and you hugging, the run and then the hug would have been
I had to run in slow-mo because I had quite tight jeans on and it was boiling hot. I was...
Yes, you'd wore jeans. John had from We Are Hummingbird had worn jeans as well.
You had shorts on.
I had shorts. Yeah, I was
so
cash.
hot. It was so hot.
It was a baking hot day in central London. And you, when we met, you greeted me. The first thing you said was, "Look at my toy cars."
Yeah, I did. That's true. Yeah, my son Tommy, before I left, he made me take 2 toy cars to London to show everybody.
They made it on quite a lot of socials.
Yeah, I took a lot of photos of his 2 cars.
A lot of photos of 2 cars.
Do you know what? He still looks at the photos now. He asked me to show him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's quite worried that some people didn't like them, but I said no. Genuinely,
everyone loved them.
Everybody loved your toy cars. So
I did. So for those who aren't sure what the hell we're on about, Jimmy and I and John from We Are Hummingbird, we met. We went to do a panel discussion for an amazing organisation called Helios.
Yeah.
And we were talking about mental health in the music industry. What a time to meet.
Yeah,
it was good fun, wasn't it?
It was really good and it was really professional and I suddenly felt like a grown-up. In my mind, I'd just gone to London to meet you, eat some chicken and buy a hat. I did. Because I kept saying, I need to buy a hat. You can't come to London and not buy a hat. I didn't even buy a hat. I became such an adult during that day. It was great though.
We had some proper combos, didn't we? We were talking about all the important stuff, mental health and suicide, deep. And it went
real deep. But like it didn't, you know, when you go deep in a pool, the water gets cool, like really cold, and you start freaking out. It was none of that. It was all depth, but it was comfortable. I could have stayed there all day.
And we did eat well that day, didn't we? So we had a lovely burger. I had the California, which was an amazing burger, and we sat and we had our burgers and chips before we went and did the interview. Yeah. And then the wonderful people at Helios, they took us for a lovely bit of grub after. And I love your description of it. It was like, well, tell us what you described it as.
It was kind of like Mad Max. It was a bit like Mad Max, but everybody was really friendly. It was just this, I don't know. I've never seen anything like it, being a little townie in West Wales, but... It was all outdoors, and then
outdoors. Lots of shipping containers, a big fire pit in the middle. Yeah, TVs on the wall.
TVs on the wall outside. What's that all about? Nobody's stealing.
The chairs were made of metal. It was a real industrial melting pot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. And then you ordered your food on the app, and then different companies. So one company would cook your food, another company would bring your drink.
Yeah. And we were surrounded, although we didn't see any, we were surrounded by music type people. I think one of the Gallagher brothers was there. Yeah. A couple of the guys from Prodigy were knocking around. It was a real melting pot of music. Yeah,
it was a real kind of... it looked quite dodgy on the way there when we were walking, but then when we got there, like the first thing we saw was that Ferrari, and there was like an Apple office there.
Apple were there, Mobo were there. Yeah. It's all the big boys.
A real good place to go for a chat about mental health and music, definitely. Right into the heart of it.
We'll be posting it on our pages soon. We're just waiting for the videos to come back. So those of you who didn't get a chance to catch it on Eventbrite, we'll be posting it so you can get involved. and watch it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do though, isn't it, Jimmy? We go and talk about mental health and running and all this great stuff, and we've got loads of fascinating things coming up. But it's amazing to see you and smell you at last. People still can't believe it. People honestly are like, well, you've never met each other. We're like, well, now we can say we have.
I know.
Now we can say we've met, we've embraced.
Do you know what?
There was one love is still deep.
There was one weird bit where we were sitting facing each other, and there was no computer screen between us. It was really bizarre. I think my mind, you know, when you lose something and you can't see it, I think my mind was looking for the computer screen. I was like, "Where's the screen?
Where's the screen gone?" It is weird, like being able to see your knees.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing I enjoyed the most.
My knees.
The man has knees. The man has knees. The man's knees. So let's do this. Let's do another. I'm really excited today. As I said, we've had a couple of weeks off. There's loads to chat about. We've got loads to chat about. But as always, let's start where we should. Let's start with the important thing. Let's get those lyrics out there.
Come on, then.
For people to play along with. So as you guys all know, this is what we do. Whilst we're not a mental health based podcast, we do like to keep that thread running through it. As we go through this session, we'll have fun, but we like to be an element of mental health filling through.
Well,
and never more is it important. Yeah, of course we have fun. And never has it been more important than the 5 ways of well-being, which, if you don't know by now, is to connect. We're connecting. We have connected now, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
To be active, all about Jimmy. You've got some marathons coming up, which is massively important. We've got some of our listeners that are going to be doing marathons. I know a lot of people training and doing wonderful things for We're Hummingbirds. So hello all your listeners out there, you know who you are, who I also got to meet in person not that long ago.
You did.
Yes, I did. So that was amazing.
You met
Natalie. I wasn't sure if we were going to do name drops, but we are. Natalie,
you can do a name drop. You met
Natalie.
Nat.
Got to meet Nat, who's running on behalf of We're Hummingbirds soon. So we're going to be active, definitely. Connecting and being active all rolled into one there. We're going to learn. Are we going to learn today? I'm learning something at the moment, so I'll be able to share that. I'll be able to share what I'm learning at the moment.
Okay.
We're going to give just a smile on the street, or a little helping hand to someone that might need it. And of course, we're going to take notice. Most importantly, we're going to take notice. Okay, so throughout this podcast, what we do is we give some lyrics to an album, a song from an album that is from the same year as the album we're reviewing today. Whew, that was a mouthful for once. I'm not going to crumble though. We're going to give an album, some lyrics, and then we're going to set it out. And what we'll then do, the part around taking notice, is I'll give clues throughout. Yeah. And you've got to tell me if you can. Now, the last time we had an album from 2021, I said, well, I'm deliberately going to go back in time. Well, this time, we also have an album from 2021, and I'm using lyrics from an album in 2021.
Yes! I've listened to a lot of albums this year.
You have listened to a lot of albums. Now, I'm excited for this. So I'm just going to go in straight off the bat, give you these lyrics, let you mull it over, see what you think. Remember, if at home, you're playing for 5 house points. Most of you should have enough now to afford a mattress. I've got a funny story about mattresses later on, but we'll get onto that in a minute. And Jimmy, if you do know what it is, don't shout it out. Don't give it away.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. And remember to watch out for the clues. There might have already been one.
I think I heard one.
Oh, did you?
You said something about crumble. That's really unlike you. Now I know you in person. That's an odd word for you to say in a sentence, crumble.
I've got a lovely rhubarb crumble indoors, actually.
I bought some rhubarb in the supermarket the other day, and I got really annoyed that I couldn't fit it in my basket.
What, the rhubarb?
Yeah, it doesn't fit in a basket. It was so
annoying.
My dad
brings me rhubarb. My dad brings you rhubarb from his allotment. Best thing ever.
That's such a dad thing to do, isn't it?
I know, it's awesome. Anyway, listen, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
I will wake in the morning if you call, and I'll stand beside you as long as I can. I will hold back the evening of your sun.
What?
But I won't crumble with you if you fall.
I will hold back the evening of your sun.
Yeah.
Someone with a real bad grasp of physics.
I will wake... Here we go.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Have you read the book The Third Policeman? And in the book The Third Policeman, the character thinks darkness is caused by a slow release of volcanic ash throughout the day. And
really? Has it got anything to do with policemen, though?
Yeah, kind of. There's a policeman in there.
Okay.
I think I read it years ago.
Do you want the lyrics again?
Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Don't be sorry. I'm trying to help you. Okay. I will wake in the morning if you call, and I'll stand beside you as long as I can. I will hold back the evening of your sun, but I won't crumble with you if you fall.
I don't get it.
So there's that word again, crumble.
What is
I mean,
it? What's that? Is
be...
it a song about an alarm clock or something?
Who knows?
Who's this? Okay, I have no idea. I really have no idea.
Do you know something, Jimmy? You're probably not wrong there.
Sounds like a song about an alarm clock.
I reckon you could be closer to the reality than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Who the hell writes about alarm clocks? That's the kind of thing I would write about.
More to do with time.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
Oh my God, is my friend
I've given too much away now.
Is it my friend Tom Jones?
I've given too much away now.
It's my friend Tom Jones. It's my friend Tom Jones, it is. I'm not... Tom! Oh. He's here now. He's out the garden now.
Is he gardening?
Yeah, he's out the garden.
Well, listen, don't ruin it for everyone. I mean, jeez, Jimmy.
No. Tom Jones is a character in Pride and Prejudice or something.
We're going to have to get Carl to do elevator music over it again. Stop saying the words. Stop saying the name. Anyway, tell me what you've been up to, mate. Tell me, mate, what you've been up to. I don't know where that was from.
I've been having a really, weird time where I got a new mobile phone and I've forgotten the login stuff for, all my Twitter and everything on my old phone. So I'm carrying around 2 mobile phones at the moment.
Nice.
Which is, I hate it. I hate it. Yeah.
I have 2 mobiles and I never take one of them anywhere. And the one I never take anywhere is the work one. Maybe I should get it the other way round. But
yeah, I was like that. We went camping on the weekend and I didn't take my phone with all my social media on. Just I had one running PUNKS account on there and that's all I could use.
Where did you go camping?
4 miles down the road.
Whereabouts?
A place called Pembrey Country Park.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Nice. Did you tent or caravan?
Tented. Yeah, well, TP'd it. We got a TP.
Lovely. Oh, what? It was already put up for you?
No. So we bought a TP and then we put it up and we slept in it. And then I don't know if you ever slept in a TP, but a family of 4 in a TP, that pole in the middle becomes a real pain in the ass. Everything is I can't do that because there's a pole in the way. Because we had our 7-month-old daughter with us and just
I was going to say
doing night feeds and just walking into a pole.
Unbelievable. That's a brave taking a 7-month.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, she was fine. It was her idea.
How did she tell you that's what how long did you go for?
2 nights.
2 nights. That's what you need. 2 nights. Don't do more than 2 nights camping.
2 nights.
I'm going camping next weekend.
Oh yeah, where are you going?
Yeah,
Oh,
Cornwall. Going
nice.
to Holywell. I love Holywell. Yeah. So I'm going down to Holywell Bay. Yeah,
lovely.
It's beautiful there with all the dunes. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. I enjoyed it. And camping holidays are all about memories. Do you know what I mean? With having 2 kids.
Usually the memory of I never want to do this ever again.
Yeah. Why is Daddy spitting in the porridge to cook it? What's going on? I don't know. It's it's a proper. You make memories when you go camping. When you go in a hotel, not so much. It just passes you by quite easily, doesn't it? So
well, not you. You got some good memories about hotels. The man who you bought your shopping for.
Best mate.
Come on.
Well, I stayed in another hotel 2 weeks ago, and it was horrific. It was a real nice hotel, real fancy, in Bristol, and I don't know what this gets quite deep. Do you want me I can talk about it?
Yeah, of course we do, yeah.
So I went with my band. We were doing some filming there. So it was me.
This is the day after I saw you.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Maybe you were just on a hangover from that.
Well, this is strange because I went with the boys in the band. We haven't hung out much, obviously, because of COVID.
That's a good album, that, Boys in the Band. Is that by the Libertines?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. That's a song,
It's not an album, it's a song,
It's a song. So Sorry,
carry on.
We were going out all day and they they're not big drinkers, but they're just drinkers. So I was with them.
Not like you, Jimmy.
No. So I was with them.
You go hard when you go.
Yeah, when I used to drink, I used to go hard. And I was all day on the alcohol-free beers. Then in the night, after we'd done our filming, I was on alcohol-free cocktails. And I woke up after the first night and I was convinced I had a hangover and I was convinced I'd done something wrong and I was convinced I had a load of people to apologise to. And I was and I was convinced I didn't deserve to stay in a nice hotel. So basically, I had a really crap time because I felt guilty the whole time. It was awful. It was awful.
Sure were you definitely on alcohol free?
Yeah, definitely on alcohol free. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Do you think it was the sugar? like in the cocktails?
I don't know. Like, it's just, I think it's just in the past, if I've gone away somewhere and stayed in a hotel with a band, it's involved heavy drinking and booze guilt.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was insane. I felt like crap the whole time.
How bizarre.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep in the bed. It was a lush bed. Like, the room was amazing. I think it was like a 4 or 5 star hotel. And I could not sleep in the bed because I was like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be here. I'm an idiot.
But you hadn't even done anything.
No, I hadn't done anything. I'd had like nice coffees. I'd had a pleasant time. I went for a run. I was like all being super healthy and normal. And I took a book with me and I was reading and I was writing stuff. But I think because I spent so long in pubs, like, it's the first time I've gone to pubs since being teetotal.
Yeah.
I think drinking in a house, alcohol-free beers, is different to going in a pubs, because it still comes in a pint. Do you know what I mean? So you're still having a pint. And I was convinced that I had let slip and I got smashed. And honestly, it was insane. I was like checking my social media that I hadn't put stuff online when I was drunk.
That does sound like a bit of a mind.
I couldn't shake it.
Yeah.
I came home early. I was like, I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I packed up and I came home. I was like, I can't deal with this. I cannot relax here.
Jimmy, that's bizarre.
I know. It's really... Well, I'm a bizarre person, but that...
You are a bizarre person, but that is bizarre. But interesting. Really interesting. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm fine now, but it took me like 2 or 3 days to get over it. Honestly, I had to keep on going through everything that happened. And I was like, right, I definitely didn't drink. I definitely didn't start an argument, you know.
Now might be a good time to raise the subject with you about the messages you sent me the other week.
Oh, don't. It's weird though, because it's got me freaking out about, you know, it's going to happen at some point in the future. I'm going to be put up in a hotel again to do something. And I'm like, how am I going to cope? How am I going to cope in a hotel? It was the hotel. It was honest. It was the pubs and being in a hotel. I was just like, this is weird. I'm not happy here.
Oh, mate, I'm sorry to hear that. We're off camping soon, though. We're at Boardmasters together. You going to be all right there?
I'll be fine with that. I'll be fine. I think it's just the whole hotel thing, honestly.
What else you been doing then, Jimmy? I mean, let's move on from this. I feel a little bit like this might be too deep. We might need a psychologist on this.
I've moved on from it. I'm all good. And then I've been doing nice runs and put out some new music.
Yes. How's that going down? Do you want to plug it? I mean, you can plug it if you want.
Yeah, so we put out a new song called All My Fish Are Dead. And it's getting a lot of plays on a radio station called KEXP in Seattle, which is a cool station.
Really?
So yeah. It's had like 5 plays last week, which is amazing.
Amazing.
Still none in this country. Just putting that in there.
I've played it a couple of times.
Yes, and it's been good. It's been weird to release music again, because I just thought, I'm not doing that. You know, like 3 years ago, I thought, I'm not going through with this again. I can't be dealing with it. But time felt right, and the songs we were writing are cool, so why not put it out there? So I'm approaching it differently to how I used to. I used to worry about, so and so, one of my mates hasn't really shared it. Do you know what I mean? I used to get.
I haven't shared it.
But
I'll tell you why I haven't shared it. Because I don't know how to.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know how to. I'm becoming worse and worse with social media. So obviously we're Hummingbird. It's all done by the amazing Carl, who produces this. Hello, Carl. But today, funny enough, so my daughter's part of a football team, and they're starting a whole new team and everything. And funny enough, the club texted me today about an hour ago and said, would you be willing to take on the comms and social media side of the football club, because we think you'd be really good at it.
Well, ask you to do it.
Yeah, and I was like, has there ever been a time someone has known me so little and pretended that they know me by saying, we think you'd be really good at it?
Right. Yeah.
Like, if you actually knew me, you'd know that I don't even know how to use Facebook. I can't set up a Facebook page or an event or a group. I don't have a clue how to do it. My own Instagram page, I'm not even logged into half the time. I don't have Twitter. If I do, I certainly don't know how to use it. And I'm like, I'll be great for it. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh.
So I haven't shared it.
That's
because
fine.
I don't know how to.
I don't care anymore.
I've told
I don't even look anymore. Well, I do look, but it doesn't bother me. So
I'll tell you where I have.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, but I went away. I went away for the weekend. In the UK, I went somewhere I'd never been before.
Oh wow!
And I'm sure you've been there, but if you haven't, no, a place. Not
right.
shop.
Okay.
I'm sure you've probably been there, but if you haven't, I think it's right up your alley.
Go on.
Glastonbury.
Oh, I went to school near Glastonbury.
Did you?
Yeah.
So, no one told me that Glastonbury Festival wasn't happening this weekend, so I thought it was a bit of a deal when I got my B&B ticket, my Airbnb, and right in Glastonbury weekend. I was all set, and no one... I mean, little did I know that there'd been a worldwide pandemic, so there's me rocking up at Glastonbury thinking, well, the roads are pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So I stayed about a minute from Worthy Farm.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I went with some friends, my wife and another couple who were really good friends with. We go away a lot. We usually go abroad, but we couldn't this year. So we went to Glastonbury, where I've never been before, and it was beautiful driving in and all the brick building. That sounds silly. All the big stone grey brick buildings rather than like red brick. Beautiful little villages, and we came in and we had an Airbnb attached to this gorgeous farmhouse, and it was just ours, and it was heaven. And we had this view looking out over fields and fields and fields. Got there on the Friday, did the normal thing that everyone does on the first day of holiday. Got too drunk. So sorry if I sent you any messages. And then we're quite active. So obviously I've just said my wife's about to run a marathon and the people I'm with have run marathons. So we got up Saturday morning and decided we were going to go for a run.
Oh, yeah. Quite tough running around Glastonbury, mind.
Oh, boy. So, I felt like I'd never run before in my life. So I couldn't shift this headache. I'll come on to this more in a minute. I had a headache I couldn't shift. Yeah. And I was like, hangover headache. If we go for a run, I'll be fine. Honestly, it felt like I'd never run before. And there were hills that I've not even seen in my life.
Yeah, there's
before.
big hills there, aren't there?
Oh, and we turned left out of the house and went straight onto a hill. And we were like, I'll be all right, we've got to run back down this. Only to find there were more around. Anyway, we went for this run. And it was honestly like I'd never run in my life or never done anything. It was hard. Yeah. Did 4 miles, that was it.
That's good going.
Yeah, it was all right, whatever. Got back, headache still there. But for the day, we'd planned a 38-mile bike ride around. So we'd done a nice little run to warm us up. Yeah. And then straight on the bikes, 38 miles.
Oh, my word.
It was beautiful, lovely, all the scenery, we had it all plotted around, and we went, and the woman who was owned the house, who was next door, she'd popped her head over the fence and was chatting. And I know her from somewhere, and I don't know where.
I like the idea of just popping your head over the fence.
She did. She just popped over. She's like, "Hello, guys." She's like, "Hi," yeah. And we were like, "Hi." This from the Friday night when we were having a few beers. She's like, "Oh, hi, yeah." But I know her from somewhere. I still can't put my finger on where I know her from. Anyway, she was like, "You've got to go into Glastonbury." She said, "Glastonbury's a site. The town centre is its own little thing. So there's no commercial shops. They're all shops that are run by independents, crystal kind of shops, rocks. You've got the odd estate agents." And I was like, great, love it. I'm all up for that. Yeah. So we plotted our route and we were like, right, we'll go 35 miles. We'll end up at Glastonbury. We'll have a pint somewhere, a bit of lunch, and then we'll mosey on home. Yeah. Did what we did. Well, I never. Have you ever been to Glastonbury, Jimmy?
Have I been?
Have you ever been to the High Street?
Yeah, been there loads.
I'm a really liberal kind of guy. Yeah. I'm like open-minded. I've got no problems.
Was it the trousers? Was it the trousers that freaked you out first?
Most people weren't even wearing trousers. There was definitely a need for a shoe shop to be introduced to Glastonbury. So we rode in, and straight away, kind of, you come up to the town centre, and don't get me wrong, I like it. It was a barrage to my senses, and I already had a headache. Yeah, right. So I ride in, and immediately on my left-hand side, I can hear a man playing music
on the drums.
No, he was guitar. Yeah. Busking. Yeah. But it was busking like I'd never heard in my life. It wasn't mainstream busking. And as I looked around, I noticed an abundance of beards, but the beards weren't just normal beards. They were beards that had been tied into little ponytails at the bottom of the beards. Long hair everywhere, waistcoats everywhere.
Oh, yeah, they love a waistcoat, yeah.
This is in the first, 2 seconds, just boom, like, you've been riding your bike and then it's like, have this. Boom.
Like in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they go through a tunnel. You go through a tunnel.
And my brain can't compute it all. And then I look and there's the square, big pillar in the middle next to where the busker was.
Yeah.
And laying all round the square on the steps were individuals who I can only say had indulged in something.
Chocolate?
Yeah, maybe. And they were in a chocolate coma.
Yeah.
laying around the steps. And they'd obviously crashed out.
Yeah,
but what baffled me was sat like right next to these people who had crashed out on chocolate were kids and families just embracing life as well. And it was all a melting pot. So we were like, okay, let's walk up the hill because we wanted to find somewhere to get a pint and eat.
It's like the opposite of a war.
Yes, let's walk up the hill. And as we're walking up the hill, there's just so many different senses going on. And I double take to the right, and there's a woman in a tank top with wellies on.
They don't wear sleeves, do they?
A woman in a tank top with wellies on, holding a dog on a lead. Second take. It's not a woman, or she certainly wasn't born a woman, but she might be a woman now. I'm very confused by that, but she's there.
Yeah.
And then she followed us everywhere we went, which was then tricky.
That's nice.
So we got up the hill a little bit more, and then there's people sat around just indulging in whatever they want, and no shoes, zero shoes. So like I saw a guy who was in a lovely blue short sleeve shirt. He had a Canon camera strapped over him, a nice set of chino shorts.
Oh yeah,
and he's like a
proper M&S kind of guy.
Yeah. No shoes. I mean, that baffled me more than anything. I'm like, how are you an M&S kind of guy, but not wearing shoes? So then we were like, okay, we got to the top of the hill. And listen, guys, I want to point this out right now. I am no city slicker.
You are losing the plot.
I'm a very rounded, like, I've seen a lot.
You're a cool guy.
But for some reason, I could not.
It's too much for you.
I couldn't take it all in that split couple of minutes.
living in a magic eye picture.
It was like we'd gone to another. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is Glastonbury weekend. Maybe people are still here embracing Glastonbury, even though it's not on. So we went back down the hill and we found a pub.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Glastonbury have this amazing baker's called Burnt Bread or Burnt of Bread.
That's a good name for burnt.
Oh, brilliant.
Bakery.
Burns of Bread or Burnt Bread.
Welcome to my sandwich shop. Shit sandwich.
Yeah, shit sandwich. People will know it if they've been to Glastonbury, and it was fantastic. So we went to a pub, sat there, and then went across the road to get a sausage roll. Oh, my God, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Whilst we sat there, there's a guy dressed up as a Viking.
That's normal.
Yeah, whacking a, what are they called? The things that you do metalwork on.
Anvil,
whacking an anvil, and people are coming and going. There's a wedding taking place, and the people were taken to the wedding on a coach. They get off, and then there's a guy walking around with a Ben Sherman shirt on, again no shoes, walking into phone boxes and just generally everywhere. So we're like, okay, this is cool, right? Woo! Let's drink our pint, let's have our water, let's get back on our bikes, and we'll do the last 2 miles back home. So
God.
It was a beautiful. I love these things. I love sights. I love seeing new cities, new towns. It was just too much too soon in a short space of time.
What do you mean? Well, you want to be eased into that kind of madness. So 10 miles from Glastonbury, you see the first man with no shoes on.
Well,
then 2 miles on, there's someone with a tank top on. You're like, I've sensed that things are going weird.
What I'm telling you happened is a surprise party. So as we were riding in, the woman who owned the house next door had obviously gone to Glastonbury beforehand, got everyone ready, and went, they're coming. Like
the Truman Show.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, everything you've got, go. And it was just
you in that phone box now. Smash that anvil.
It was like a surprise party, because it wasn't the fact that there was so many different things, it was the fact it was all at once.
Yeah.
No matter where you looked, there was something going on, and my head couldn't compute all the different angles that had it all. It was like she'd sat there and gone, right, you, now, on a walkie-talkie, who's got the big cannon? Where's the man with no shoes? Where's the lady with the dog? Boom, boom, boom.
See, I'd rather look at all that than pictures of Matt Hancock snogging someone, no?
Oh, that escalated quick, didn't it? But let me come back to that. So we're like, right, let's ride back. So we go riding along, and my mate said, right, we just nip down here. The house is through there. Lovely roads around Glastonbury, just dead flat, all built by Romans. All day long.
Romans, yeah. Well,
they must have had a whale of a time around that town.
Yeah.
But dead straight, dead flat, loads of roads. So we're riding along, and as we're riding, on my left there's houses, loads of houses, and on my right I see the first painted caravan. And I'm riding past, and inside there's a sign that's saying, "This is my home, please don't knock it." I'm like, oh, that's cute. A little bit further down, there's another one. Oh, and the traveller's vehicle of choice, the high-top Mercedes van.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many.
Yeah.
So I start to see these caravans, and they all look really old and tatty and dirty, like they've been abandoned.
Yeah.
We turn a left, and we go down this road, and it's Caravan Alley.
Where's that? What?
There is caravan after caravan. It's all along the stream. So all these caravans have pitched up, no cars, no nothing, along a stream that runs from Glastonbury Centre into like the farmlands.
Yeah.
And they look like they've been there good 10 years. They're blended in. There's shrubs all around them, and they're hang on, I don't know how to word this.
Minging.
They're well lived in.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And you go past them, and it's like, I literally felt like I'd taken acid. And like in my pint in Glastonbury, like I'd taken acid. And as I'm driving down this country lane, there's just caravan after caravan. And then there's pallets all stacked over a stream. And I'm like, that looks like a homemade toilet.
Right, yeah.
Then I go, and then I see a camping toilet just sat there. And we keep going, and then it gets weirder, and then some of the caravans are painted, and then some of them have got the doors open as you go past, and there's people in there, and
oh my god,
yeah, and it was just such a surreal kind of 4-mile ride back, just past caravan after caravan after caravan, and then we got back to the house, and the sun came out, and we sat having a few drinks, kind of decompartmentalising. Like, did you see? Did that happen? Like, did we see all of that? And then the woman pops her head over again. She's like, "Hi, are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, lovely. We've just been out. It was beautiful, lovely bike ride. We went into Glastonbury. Is that like that every day, or is it because it's Glastonbury weekend?" She's like, "No, that's all the time." I said, "Oh, we went past the caravans. What are they all about?" And she was like, "Yeah, so the Glastonbury Council, so they're all travellers. They've pitched up their caravans down there.
Yeah.
So it's traveller after traveller after traveller. But the Glastonbury Council have to provide them with fresh drinking water, skips to put all their waste in, and the stream that runs next to it is where they go to the toilet. So they put their pallets over the stream and go into the toilet, and the council have to make sure they're all catered for and everything as travellers." And I was like, wow. I was just like, this is like, I think I felt a bit like I'm not a sheltered person. I can't say this enough. And I really loved it. I really did. But I think when you've never seen something that like that before, it kind of just is a bit of a onslaught on the senses.
It's a bit like Gulliver's Travels in the TripAdvisor age.
But I was so fascinated. I wanted to know more. Like, I was Googling it. I wanted to know more. I wanted to understand more.
I was Googling.
I wanted more
how
and
do you
more
piss
and more.
in a stream?
I was like, what do we Google to find out what this alley's called? I wanted to know what the road was now. But yeah, she was saying it's that's Glastonbury. The travellers will go. The mayor of Glastonbury is well, her words were she's a bit hippie, and so she embraces it, and she wants that kind of scene. So yeah, it was fascinating. She's telling us stories about all of the travellers that are around and what they do. So then we were like, great, sunbathed for a bit because the sun came out, and we were like, right, Sunday morning before we leave, because we've got to be out of the house at 10, we're going to climb up the Tor.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so we could see it from so we were like, we're going to climb up it. So we packed our cars, drove and parked up, and we were like, let's do it. So not really knew what to expect. We start walking up, and then I spot the first painted green Mercedes high-top van. And I think, hello, I've seen this before. Followed by another Mercedes high-top, and then a couple of caravans. And like, oh my, okay, there's another little alleyway here, or another little walkway of these vans. Don't forget, the 21st of June was the summer Solstice.
Yeah.
Longest day of the year. My daughter's birthday. I know it well. And the women had said, well, that day there'd been a lot of nudity that had taken place on top of the tour.
Amazing.
So I was like, damn, we're 5 days too late.
Swing your willy at the sun.
Yeah, so we're walking along. This is at 9:50 in the morning, 9:45, let's call it.
Yeah.
So we're walking along, there's all these vans and we're looking and, you're kind of taking it all in. Get a bit further up and we turn to what can only be described as like the bottom part of the tour before you start walking up.
Yeah.
And straight away, on my left, right next to the sign that says no camping, is just a campsite full of travellers.
Yeah.
Music's playing. There's a guy in the middle of it all who, those flame sticks, and they spin them. So he had one of those, but it wasn't lit, and he's just practicing moving around, and they're all sat in their campsite. It's a misty morning, and there's loads of people there. And what just struck me, maybe for the first time, is, don't they get bored? Like, when you just went camping, don't you get bored?
No.
Like, at what point does that guy who was doing the thing on his shoulders think he's been sat in his chair since, I don't know, 8 o'clock that morning, and he sat there and he spoke to Jimmy and they played a bit on the old didgeridoo, because there's the didgeridoos there, and he's thought, do you know what I'm going to do, Jim? It's 9:30.
Yeah,
I'm just going to practice my flamethrower bit now. So we'll stand up and do that.
You get bored. You don't give up your way of life just because you got bored. You don't be like coming back from work on a train and think, I'm bored. That's it. I'm not going to work anymore.
No, but what do you do? What do they do all day every? Well, no, I don't mean they. I don't mean any of this in a horrible way. I love it. But when something's new, you're fascinated by it, right? And I was like, so what happens at 10:15 when he's practiced that on his shoulder for half hour and he thinks, right, I'm done. What am I going to do now?
He's going to go bang an anvil.
What am I going to do now? What am I going to do now?
Maybe like is limitless in a way. He can do whatever he wants. He's got more options than us.
But is this the whole point of freedom? The freedom to just do whatever you want? And I was honestly, I'm intrigued. I don't mean to insult anyone. No. And if this has in any way insulted anyone, I really don't mean to. But
this is
a different life to me.
This is a different world. Right? Like, I get it. I get that lifestyle is appealing. But I think unless you're doing something with it, then it is pointless. So if you're going to live like that and you're going to practice throwing fire around and swallowing swords, then you better write a good poem or a good book or a good song about it. But I know what you mean. It's like I've met people like that and they're not really doing anything. They do that, but they don't do it. It's like you've got amazing stories to tell. You could write something, or you could at least take photos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I think it's not being bored, but it's just like, how do you then use that to make something? Or
so like in 12 hours, this was at 10 in the morning, I was thinking, in 12 hours time, what would you have done? Like, in 12 hours time, I'm going to walk this hill, I'm going to go back, I'm going to drive home, I'm going to go home, I'm going to shower, I'm going to do all these things that I've got to do in my day. Will you still be there at 10 in 12 hours time?
Doing that.
And if so, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
But what about tomorrow?
I know.
And that's what I mean. And what about the day after and the day after? And
I like watching people like that, but I definitely don't like getting into conversations with people like that. You know?
Yeah. I was I've got so much respect for different cultures, and I don't mean to come across as narrow-minded, but it was such a experience for me this weekend, and I'm not shouted. I keep saying that I'm not, but I think to be in that environment over the weekend really just left me with more questions than I could answer. And I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong questions. I'm just saying I'd love to be able to delve into these more. And maybe we should. And I've spoken to some amazing people, people that have lived with, drug addiction on London Bridge and lost all their teeth. And I've spoken to so many great people, and there are fabulous people. Yeah. And I'm not saying by any means that people who are travellers are addicts. What I'm saying is I guess I want to know more. I guess this is whet my appetite to kind of... What is there? What is this way of life?
It's like, what do you do? I know what you mean. Like, 2 days camping, I came home and I was ready to like start making something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And it was like, what are you going to do with the confined things that you have around you? What are you going to do when you've finished that? But anyway, then we walked up the hill, big hill. And we got to the top, and there's St. Michael's monument, I think it is at the top, or something along those lines. So. And then the chanting started.
Oh yeah, I love a good chant.
Yeah, so there was the drum, the dum 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 dum, and then there was the chanting, and then there was just what I can only really describe as the screaming.
Yeah, right, cool.
Yeah, the expelling of the demons.
Yes.
I guess that's what it is, or just letting it all out.
Yeah. Very cathartic.
Fascinating city. Is it a city, Glastonbury?
It's got a cathedral, isn't it?
It has.
Wales is a city, which is not too far, is it? I think Glastonbury's a city.
It was, anyway, I was fascinated by it, and it did leave me with more questions than answers.
I lived around there, see. I lived in a little village called Street, which is about...
Yes, Street. They've got a big outlet, or someone was telling me there.
Clark's
right?
Village.
Yeah, that's it, yes. Employ a lot of people there.
I lived there for 2 years.
Amazing, I didn't know this.
Yes.
This is fascinating.
My camera's gone off.
Yeah, your camera has gone off. You've frozen, but I can still hear you. Hopefully everyone else can. It will pop back in. So I did love it so much so that when I got home, I recommended it to my parents, and they go on Sunday.
Oh, no. I hope they go with no shoes on.
Honestly, they're going on Sunday. They're going to stay in the same place.
Are they really? Yeah.
Yeah, they're staying in the same house. As we were riding, we went through a beautiful looking town called, I think it was Somerstown.
Somerston.
Yeah. The reason I got it confused is because in Portsmouth there is a Somerstown, which is very different to Somerston. But how beautiful did that look? Somerton.
I can't remember. I know the place.
Yeah, Somerton or something like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful looking little wine shop. So I've said to the parents to go there. But yeah, I was really, really a lot to go on. But what I was also going to say is I had a headache for the whole weekend, and I'm just chatting today, Jimmy. Sorry, man.
I like it. Is it spinning you out that my video is just totally frozen? Look at my face, the way it's frozen as well.
Yeah, you look like you're unimpressed with my story.
That's me thinking, when do I tell my parents live in one of those caravans?
Well, if they did, I'd be going to see them because I want to know more. If they do, or we know anyone, let's connect us. I really want to learn. I want to educate. I want to know what I want to know so much.
Let's just go down there. Let's make a really good toilet for them. Let's become toilet salesmen.
Yeah. Some of them had really nice cars.
Yeah.
Like brand new. And that again was just like, I don't understand. I'd like to be able to join the dots.
Yeah, I
couldn't, and it left me wanting to know more. But I had a headache, I couldn't shift, and so I came home, and my wife was like, Ian, you probably need to get your glasses looked at. When was the last time you had an eye test? I was like, 5 years ago. She's like, it might be that. So I went to the yesterday morning.
You nearly said dentist.
Yeah, I know I did. So yesterday morning I went to the gym, and I had an optician's yesterday lunchtime, and as I was at the gym I felt like something went in my eye. I was like, I've got something in my eye, and you're trying to get it out and move it, and it wouldn't move. And I went to the optician's that day, and he was doing the test, and he kept saying to me, so what do you do in your spare time?
What?
And I was like,
I hug strange men by bakeries in London.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I was like, I go to the gym, not a lot, I work a lot. And he was like, okay, so what do you do in your spare time? And I was like, is this guy like asking me out, which we'll come on to more in a minute.
Nice.
And I was like, oh yeah, I just go to the gym. And he was like, okay, keep looking. And I'd been in there like half hour, if not longer. He said, you got something on your eye? And I was like, yeah, funny you said that, because I felt something on there today. And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, have I got something in there? Can you get out? He went, no. I was like, okay, well, you've just told me that I have. And then at this point I could start to see he was getting a bit confused. And I'm like, is everything all right? And he said, well, you've got something on your cornelius. Is that it?
Cornea.
Cornelius
is a name.
I know.
You got something on your Jeffrey.
As soon as I said it, he said, you've got something on your cornea, but it can't have pierced it, because if it pierced it, you'd be in absolute agony. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do anything. And I was like, what? Right, are you sure I haven't just got something on it? And he said, no. And he was like, this is why I kept asking you what you'd like to do. And I was like, oh, damn, I thought you were asking me out. and he said, listen, man, I'm baffled. And he kept getting the microscope and looking at it. He's like, I can see it. It's right on your eye. And I do not know what it is. And I'm then at this point starting to be like, okay, I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
And he said, silly question. I think why he was asking what I like to do is I think he was trying to get at if I like to dress up in my spare time. Because he went, well, listen, he said, I had a woman once who had something similar, and what we got on her eye was a bit of glue from fake lashes. And I was like, no, it's definitely like that. And he was like, no, I didn't think it was. And he said, you don't wear any kind of contact lenses. I said, no. He said,
do you put sausages in flasks?
Yeah. He said, I think you might need to go to hospital. And I was like, what? He's like, I really don't know what's going on. He said, if you had walked in here and you wore contact lenses and you had that on your eye, I would have told you you've got an ulcer and I'd be taking you to the hospital myself. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
I'm freaking out a little bit now. And he's like, yeah, let me phone the hospital whilst you're here. So then he's trying to get hold of the hospital. He can't get through. I've just gone in for a routine bloody eye check that my wife made me go to because I've got a headache. And he can't get through. And he's like, I've been in there by an hour now. There's a queue of other people coming for their checks. He's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. All I can suggest is that you leave and you keep trying to ring the hospital and get there and go. So he felt really like he'd reached his capacity of what he could do, and I've reached my capacity of what I could do. And everyone's just like, well, what the hell do we do? So then I'm walking around town. I was out to take some stuff back to Next, as you do, because you can't just go and do one thing. You've got to do all this shit. So I'm walking around kind of freaking out. I hadn't eaten all day. I'm an emotional wreck. I'd still had loads of questions about Glastonbury that I couldn't answer. Now my eyes falling out. And I'm just like, I just need a hug. I need a hug. I felt like I was being held together by like duct tape. So then I get a text on my phone. And the optician has texted me directly to say, listen, I really don't know what it is. And I'm bricking it because I'm thinking if the optician is texting you off their personal phone directly, they're clearly worried. Like, and I'm like, fuck. So then he's like, okay, have you got hold of them yet? I haven't. And he said, look, this is what you need to tell them word for word. He's sending me all these big letters. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then he texted me back about 10 minutes later. He said, look, I've been thinking there were some drops that I put in your eye. You could get these over the counter. Why don't you go to a pharmacist, get these, drop them in and see if that does anything over the next kind of 24 hours just to see what's going on. I'm like, okay, if you think that's all right. So I go in and get these drops. So essentially, I've got this thing on my eye. I don't know what it is. He doesn't know what it is. I can't get hold of the hospital. The hospital won't just let me rock up. I'm putting drops in every 2 hours. And I'm kind of living on the edge here, thinking at any minute my eye's just going to implode like you said it would. And I'm going to be in sheer agony and I can't get hold of anyone. So yeah.
So what happened then?
That's where we're at.
Is it?
Yeah. We're no further forward, Jimmy. I can't get hold of the hospital. I can't get hold of them.
Is your headache better?
I've still got a headache. I've got something on my eye that no one knows what it is. I'm putting drops in every 2 hours. I'm texting the opticians on a regular basis now. I think we're going to go for dinner next week. And I don't know what the hell's going on. And it's just like...
Oh, my word.
Yeah. Isn't that trippy?
Yeah, that is... that's pretty messed up.
And my eyesight's got worse.
Has your eyesight got worse, yeah?
Yeah, my eyesight's got worse. So, yeah, I'm kind of...
This could be
in a state of
last podcast then.
Yeah, so if you don't hear from us again, guys. Then I spoke to someone else about this and I told them, they went, oh God, yeah, my mate went in, he had an eye thing and it turned out he had cancer. I told him his eye taken out.
No. Oh. Yeah, you're always going to think the worst. It's right, you're looking fine. I mean,
well, you're not because your screen still frozen.
I'm totally
which is putting me off even more. Turn your camera off and back on.
How do I do that?
Hover at the bottom of the screen, camera off, camera on. This should be next to mute. So, yeah, listeners, God knows what's going on with my eye.
Yeah, that's not... I can't turn my camera off. I got stop video, is that it? Do I press stop?
Yeah, stop video. Press stop video. Yeah, now come back on.
Oh, this is interesting. No,
at the moment.
Failed to start the camera. Please select another camera. I've only got one camera.
Don't do anything that's going to jinx it. So anyway, that's going on. At the same time, I've been going to the gym. I've told listeners, sorry, I'm basically giving them a rundown of my life. I've been going to the gym. I went yesterday, told you something on my eye. I went again today because I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. I'm doing this new class, which is called Fortis, and it's like this HIIT session using machines. So it's like, because I think I mentioned before I had a backup, which means I'm limited as to what I can do. So it's like HIIT, they call it HIIT without the hurt.
Yeah.
I've done a few now. I absolutely love it. So you hook up to a heart rate monitor, you can see what's going on. Anyway, the moment, because it's new to the gym, you're getting lots of people that come and do taster sessions. And the group today, there was no one in there that had done it before other than me. Bless her, the woman next to me, she collapsed halfway through.
Oh, no.
Absolutely collapsed, yeah. So we were doing these things in teams where you're working as pairs, and halfway through she was like, I've got to stop here. And I was like, yeah, no worries, I'll do your shift, you know, because it's an individual workout. I'm like, I'll do yours, boom, 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 and I'm still going, enjoying it. And she sat there and it getting worse and worse, and towards the end, she stands up and she just, boom, down flat, out.
No way.
And obviously the class stops, everyone stops. We're trying to work out what the hell to do, trying to find the emergency button to get someone in. All first aiders had to come in, everything's going on. What a morning.
Yeah.
And it absolutely...
My
what
God.
a couple of days.
Yeah, you've had a wild time, and there's me being given a really nice time in Bristol, and I can't handle it. My brain can't process. My brain is like, why is everybody being kind to me? Why am I having all this nice stuff for nothing?
Oh, unbelievable! Unbelievable.
Weird.
It's all good fun.
It is.
I mentioned the other thing that I've been doing just before we do the album review is I've been learning something. I told you I've been learning something.
Yeah.
So there is a song that came out a couple of weeks ago which has changed my life.
All My Fish Are Dead by the Vega Bodegas. Yeah, I know it well.
You know it well, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely changed my day.
Yeah.
The neighbours are making noise and banging things again. Is that the lyric?
The neighbours are at it again, drilling and fixing things.
I was close. Because
they are. My next door neighbour is a DIY maniac.
Is he?
Oh, my word.
Is he always banging? Does he know that he's mentioned in your album?
Probably going to find out now, yeah.
Yeah. But there's a track by Elderbrook and Rudimental called Something About You. I encourage every single person right now to YouTube it. The video is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's a great actor, an actor who actually is a follower of ours. I always struggle to pronounce his last name. His name's Michael, so he's in This Is England and Misfits. His sister was also in Misfits as well. He's in loads of great British programmes. He's in, at the moment, a programme called Time. You watch it, you'll recognise him. I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name. I always get it wrong, but his first name's Michael. He's an actor in this. And it's based around... it could be AA, it could be NA, it could be a men's mental health group. But basically there's men sat in this sports hall in a circle.
Yeah. And
the music plays, and it's a beautiful song anyway. And as the music's playing, you can hear like the leader of the session say, you know, who wants to go first? And he says, Michael, do you want to go? And I won't give it away, but what happens in the next 2.5 minutes is nothing short of heartwarming beautifulness.
Really? So what's it called? Something About You?
Something About You by Elderbrook and Rudimental. And there's a moment in there, there's an absolute brilliant moment of videography when the kind of cameraman is looking at Michael and there's a guy stood behind him, and Michael turns to look at the guy behind him, and so the camera blurs out, and then that awkward moment where two men are looking at each other, so Michael turns around as if it's awkward, but then he does this tiny little smile, this glint of a smile, and it's just the most beautiful connection. And I encourage everyone, watch it now, smile inside, and then thank me. But not to give it away, there's something that happens in that video throughout, and I'm learning it.
Okay.
I'm learning it because I want to be able to do it.
Is it banging an anvil, dressed as a Viking?
Completed that already. So yeah, listen, that's everything I've got. I've just blurted out.
Wow, it's been a wild ride. It's been very psychedelic. I'm worried about your eye. But
as is my mum and my wife and
I'm
everyone
also
else.
glad you got to have a great time in Glastonbury.
I know, right? I will go back. Maybe we should do a tour there, me and you.
I'm up for that.
I'm serious. Maybe me should do next year. We'll rent that little house that we had.
Yeah.
We'll go there and we'll do a live podcast from Glastonbury.
Let's do it.
And a little bit of
drag people off the street, have them as guests.
Yeah. Oh yes, I'd love that.
We could do like a little investigative journalism. Find out.
Yeah.
The stream people.
I think we could do this. I'm seriously up for it. I really am.
I'm totally up for it. Well, I'm pretty much up for everything.
Should we do an album review?
I didn't listen to it.
What?
Let me explain myself, right?
You best explain yourself. What if we'd have had no other content, Jimmy?
So I went for a run today, and I feel like with having 2 phones now, I'm spending too much time on a phone, and I just don't. I feel like I'm tightrope walking all the time.
Yeah.
I just want to be relaxed, and I want to reconnect with that spinning star inside me, and I want to go to another dimension and feel creative, and I feel like it's being dulled by the fact I'm always on 2 phones. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to listen to this album on my run, and I started running, and it was such a nice run. I didn't put music on, and I ran for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I was like, I need to explain to Ian that I didn't listen to this album on my run. I just kept on running.
Hey, listen, you don't need to explain to me. You need to explain to our hundreds of thousands of listeners.
I know, I feel really bad. But I couldn't. I was like, I was enjoying this quiet so much that...
Mate, it's fine.
I didn't want to get my phone in my pocket. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm just going to keep on running.
Listen, worse things have happened. It's absolutely fine.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
Do you know? Okay, well, I absolutely loved it.
Did you?
Yeah. No, let's not do the review on it. Let's do it next week then, because what we did yesterday was we put out to the community. We went to the Running Punks community yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think we went to the Hummingbird one. We'll do that next time.
Yeah.
We went to the Running Punks and said, "What do you want us to listen to?" And I think there was quite a few people that said the same album. Right?
It was, yeah. There were lots of not nominations, but suggestions for the same album.
Yeah. We won't say what it is. We'll leave it for next week.
Let's leave it for next week. I will listen to it.
Yeah. I will say right now, I absolutely loved it. It was a pleasure. Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. And I thought it was fantastic. And it was from 2021, so it's a nice new album for people.
It was,
so
yeah.
What we'll do is we'll try and find time to do the podcast next week. I've got a busy work week next week. I'm going to Wembley to watch football next week.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch England. England play tonight for all our listeners. So
I'm quite looking
when
forward
you're listening
to
this, when our listeners listen to this, England will have already played. So hopefully we'll be in the next round, but we never know. But yeah, I'm going to Wembley next week for a semi-final match.
Wow.
If England make it to the semis, I will be there watching them.
Hang on a minute. So what was it now? These are the quarterfinals now, are they?
Is this the last 16 they call them?
Oh, no, yeah. So then quarterfinals after this?
I believe so. I'm losing track a little bit now. But all I know is England play Germany tonight, hoping for a win. And then, but by the time this podcast comes out, we'll be at the semi-final stages.
Come on, Germany.
So, yeah. So let's do that then. Let's do the album.
Come on, Germany.
Oh, Jimmy.
What?
Jimmy. So let's do our album review. Not our album review, the lyrics.
Yeah, okay.
Now, let's read them to you again.
Yeah.
I will wake in the morning if you call, and I'll stand beside you as long as I can. I will hold back the evening of your sun, but I won't crumble with you if you fall.
I can't believe
Who is it?
I can't believe I mocked it. It's Tom Jones.
It's your mate Tom.
Yeah.
How is Tom?
He's great.
Do you think he'll come to Glastonbury with us and stay in the house?
100%.
Oh,
he would be well up for it.
You, Tom.
He probably wouldn't do the run and the bike ride, but he'll come along.
So he's been on Gogglebox, Celebrity Gogglebox lately. I wonder if soon he'll ask you to replace Anne-Marie on Celebrity Gogglebox.
He should do. He should do
if he knows what's good for him.
Yeah.
So Tom Jones is correct. Well done. And listeners, if any of you got that, big well done.
And I think the song is called Surrounded by Time.
The album's called Surrounded by Time.
The song... Something Time?
I mean, I've told you the song title.
What is the song? Is it Time? What's it?
No.
Crumble If You Fall.
You're close. It's called I Won't Crumble If You Fall.
I Won't Crumble If You Fall, yeah.
It is Tom Jones, Surrounded by Time, I Won't Crumble If You Fall.
Beautiful. Beautiful album.
A beautiful, beautiful album.
Yeah.
From 2021. Jimmy, anything else? I feel like I've hogged this show.
I've enjoyed it though. I've enjoyed it.
Literally decompressed.
I like the way you were like, I told you about my stay in a hotel and you were like, I think this has gone a bit dark, Jimmy, a bit soon. And then you went, bam, my eye is falling out.
The woman collapsed at the gym. I went to Glastonbury. I had Caravan Alley. I saw it all going on.
It only seemed dark because all my problems were internal, but all your problems were external. That's what it was. In a way, this was a conversation between the external world and the internal world.
You know that we're always here for you, Jimmy, and you shouldn't ever feel that when you stay at a hotel, you shouldn't ever feel that by again.
It was weird, man, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. I think we need to find you someone to talk to.
I think if I went on my own, it'd be fine, but I think it was the fact that I was with the boys from the band, and we all had a room each as well. We were given a room each. It was insane.
Is this you trying to say to the wife that you need to go away on your own?
No, it's just...
I'm sure if I went on my own I'd be fine, love. Let's give it a go.
It's just... I don't know. I think it was just going in pubs. It was going in pubs and staying in a hotel. That's what it was. And my brain was like, oh no, you're doing this again.
You're doing it again. Yeah. It's so interesting how powerful the brain is, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was convinced I had a hangover. Totally convinced I had a hangover. But I didn't.
But sorry to change the subject. Were you telling me? You mentioned sausage in a flask earlier.
Yeah.
Was it you that mentioned to me about your brother-in-law? Did we mention that on the last podcast?
Yeah, he's crazy for it now. Yeah. He's got the book and he's a regular sausage in the flask kind of guy.
Unbelievable. I was saying to my youngest daughter last night about having a picnic. And she was like, I can't remember her words, but she said, no one has a picnic anymore, Dad. And I was like,
oh my word.
Ye of little education, let me sit you down and tell you about this man, Max.
Yeah, you don't know.
Unbelievable. Right, well, let's call it a day.
I feel bad because you can't see me.
I know, I hate that I can't see you. I'm just looking at me.
I'm totally naked now. I'm juggling fire in my living room.
What are you going to do when you finish though, Jimmy? That's the question.
You're just like, what's the point? If I can't put it online, what's the point in doing it?
What's the point? If it went online, it didn't happen.
Exactly,
mate. Well, again, thanks to all you lovely listeners. Please keep continuing to stick around for all of this. Basically, decompressing of our weeks.
Nice.
We do love it. We love all your feedback. We love all your chat. Good luck to anyone that's doing any runs soon. Big love to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully festival seasons will be picking up. There's still a few that are confirmed that hopefully we'll be at, but we'll talk to you before that.
Yeah.
And of course, thanks to Shaw, our amazing sponsors, and Acast, who help us still get this out to you guys every single week or most weeks. It's been a pleasure, Jimmy.
Nice one. Likewise.
I'll speak to you next week.
Catch you soon, my friend.
Bye. Take care, everyone. Bye.
You lucky people have been listening to the Humming Punks podcast, produced by myself, Carl, and sponsored by Shaw.